Good evening. Welcome to another show. I am so happy to be back here on your favorite social media platform, whether you're locked in on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook. Good evening to you and welcome to another show. It is Tuesday, the 25th of February, and I am happy to be joining you again for another show. And tonight we have back to back, we're packed tonight. Okay, we're packed tonight. In 1 hour, we're gonna give you all things Rotary Club, and I am so interested in getting an in-depth information on the Rotary Club of Dominica specifically. And following that, we will take a short break. Well, not a short break, but more like a pause and get off, and then we have another show right after. I want to say welcome to every single one of you who's tuned in wherever you're locked in. Good evening to you, Shed Alive. Thank you very much, Athleen, and thank you very much for coming on. I always encourage folks, if you are able to join on the YouTube page, it is my preferred platform, as I will be moving some of my shows over to YouTube. So I want to encourage you to listen, view, and check out the YouTube page. It is, of course, pinned in my comment section, and you can do so at any time. Good evening to those of you who tuned in and shared alive. Make sure you share alive as soon as you come on. Share alive. We have an interesting discussion. I know today is Bouillon Day, so happy Bouillon Day. Those of you who are celebrating Bouillon Day. And if you don't know what Bouillon Day is, it is a day when Dominicans celebrate our very own bouillon music. And this today happens to be the day when we celebrate it. And I just want to say some big shout outs to all of the bouillon artists, all of the bouillon DJs, and everybody who's played an integral role in elevating bouillon music and placing it on a platform, on an international platform for one, but also raising the standards of bouillon. I will waste no time because we got a packed show and I want to give them their full hour. So I want to welcome my most esteemed guest who will be joining me. So we have Miss Luana Laurent, who is the president of the Rotary Club of Dominica, and Mr. Cecil Schillenford, who is the vice president of the Rotary Club of Dominica. And we're going to connect with them both right about now. Hello.
Hello. Hi. Jael, how you doing?
Can you hear me, Luan? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You have no audio on your end. But I can hear you, Cecil. Hi, Cecil. Drop off and come back on, because if you, depending on how you're viewing, if you're locked in on a phone and you took a call, it would have muted you. So drop off and come back on. All right. Welcome, Cecil. It's good to have you on.
Yeah,
Mr.
nice.
Vice President.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
Very fine, very fine. Well, it was not altogether very fine because we were burying one of our members, Marlene Birmingham, who passed a few days ago, and today was the funeral.
I'm so sorry to hear that. My deepest condolences to you, your organization, and of course to her family as well.
Yes.
My sincere condolences to all of you. Luana, you're back on.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you quite clearly. Welcome back. It's good to have you on. We're just doing our little pleasantries, and Cecil mentioned that you guys just buried one of your members today. So I was, sharing my condolences with you guys, with your entire organization, and of course to her family and friends. Luana, good evening to you.
Good evening, Jael. Good evening to your listeners. It's nice to be on.
I know in this capacity, yeah? Like you're normally a sponsor of the show, and here you are today coming on to talk all things Rotary. I've always been intrigued in Rotary, and somebody said to me, well, Jill, in order for you to be part of Rotary, you have to be invited. And I'm like, oh my God, it sounds like a cult. Like, come on, give me the tea and tell us what Rotary Club is all about for those of us who don't know, who ignorant, who just listen to everything that people say, and we just Give us the information in terms of, or at least the brief description of what the Rotary Club is all about. And I'll probably get started with Luana, who's the president, but I suspect Cecil has a history
Yes,
that we want to tap into as well. If
definitely.
you're not one of the founding members, Cecil, I don't know, eh?
No, not altogether, but I'm an old member.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm an old member. One thing is to throw, eh? So we don't call people old.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Luana, give us a brief synopsis about the Rotary Club of Dominica.
The Rotary Club of Dominica is a service organization. Over the past 50 years, Rotary Club in Dominica has provided humanitarian service through its volunteers, also known as Rotarians, throughout the island. Throughout the island, and we have been in existence for so long and tapped into so many different areas in Dominica that Rotary is a household name for many. There are individuals who have testimonies on how Rotary Club of Dominica has touched their lives, changed their lives through different facets, and we intend to be here for another 50 years.
Wow. 50 years in Dominica, but internationally, I am aware that it's celebrating 120 years of service. And I'm sure part of those 50 years, Cecil has been part of it for a long time. So, Cecil, can you share with us some of the early days and a bit of the history, even in terms of a club being in Dominica, because it is an international organization. So, if you could share a little bit with us, so we have an idea as to that what that history looks like.
Okay, I will go back as far as the starting of Rotary International. That is, Rotary International is one of the largest service organizations in the world. The self-declared mission of Rotary, as stated, is to provide service to others, promote integrity, and advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through fellowship of business professional and community leaders. It is a non-political organization and also non-religious. And as you indicated earlier on, Jael, membership is by invitation, or you can apply, but then you also have to get somebody from Rotary to sponsor you. And there are over 46,000 member clubs worldwide, with a membership of 1.4 million individuals known as Rotarians. And as President Luana would have said, the club started some 50 years ago. The club started in 1974 when 23 business and professional persons came together to form the Rotary Club. And if I can just give a little insight on how that all came about, one of our founding members, Mr. Wadi Astafan, you would know of Wadi Astafan, proprietor of Astafan and Company, but he's deceased now. He went to St. Kitts and went to a Rotary meeting in St. Kitts, and he was just so excited
He
about.
was invited. He was invited.
He was invited, yeah. Well, he was on business in St. Kitts, and then he was invited to a Rotary Club for a meeting, and he was so excited about what he heard and what Rotary was all about. So he came down to Dominica and he assigned one of his workers, and that is Mr. Dermot Southwell, who was working with him at the time, to get a few of the other businessmen together and to get a Rotary Club going on in Dominica. And Mr. Wadi Astafan and also Mr. Dermot Southwell, they were charter members of the club. They were the part of the 23 business and professionals. Most of the 23 were business people, bankers, persons in telecoms and in the power companies. Also, one or two public servants like Dr. Grell. He's a charter member. He's one of the 23. He was a medical doctor in the government of Dominica at the time. And you would be too young to know Mr. Oliver N. Phillip. We called him O.N. Phillip. He was the commissioner of police at the time. And as a civil servant, he was one of the civil servants who helped in crafting the new Rotary Club for Dominica. And there were other people like Earl Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah, Earl Johnson, who was at the time at Londonderry. He was a youth development person, and he had a youth camp in Londonderry to train young people in various fields, various disciplines. And he was also a charter member, and he became the charter president. So he's our first president, and he's still alive. He's in the Florida area. He was with us just not too long ago when we had our investiture in July, when President Luana became president. He and his wife, they came down, and they've been making, they're in close contact with us, and they've been making trips to Dominica periodically. And in terms of the persons who from that charter group who are still alive would be Gary Aird, Gerald Grell, Fred Issa, Earl Johnson. Those are the four that I know who are still alive, who lived in Dominica at one time, and Lester Sardina, who was the manager of the Royal Bank of Canada, and became part of that team. Lester is not a Dominican. He's still alive. He's somewhere in the world, but he's
Mhm.
married. He's married to a Dominican.
It's funny though. A lot. It sounds to me like a lot of them were men. And
Well, yes, Rotary was a male organization for many years. Uh, many years. When I joined Rotary, it was an all men's organization.
and
And that,
how long
and that
ago
was
was that?
1992.
Wow.
About maybe 6, 7, or 8 years downstream, women started joining Rotary,
Women were invited
were invited to join Rotary. And,
because
you know,
because that is something very important to note that it was
yeah,
an invitation, right?
yes,
So
yes,
so
by invitation.
the men chose to remain only men
Yeah.
till 1990, whenever when they started inviting women. What made the shift, or what was the? Do you know
Um,
why?
it,
Yeah, yes.
oh, yes. Right.
Actually, we had Dr. Sylvia Whitlock who visited Dominica to celebrate our 50th anniversary with us last November. She's actually the first female president of a Rotary Club internationally, and she would have faced so many challenges to get her club recognized and charters. It has gone down in history as that one lady who broke down barriers and that were preventing the presence of women in history. So she and her club members, they went to the highest levels in the legal system to get their club recognized, and so that Rotary could allow women into the club, because it used to be a boys' club.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
actually,
I mean it sounded just like that.
our first female local president is past President Mary Josie Edwards. She
Mhm.
was our first female Rotarian president here on island, and she has paved the way for so many of us following that. So we are grateful to Dr. Whitlock internationally who made it possible for that to happen.
Wow.
And just to talk about Mary Jose and breaking the bars and what have you, Mary Jose happened to have been assigned to Saint Vincent and the Grenadines to work as a fisheries officer and what have you. And she was also the first female to join the Rotary Club of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As a matter of fact, she could tell you a lot of stories about that. One person, one male, resigned from the club, left the club as a result of her joining or her being invited to join.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
that's
Kud-
how
It was
deep.
Kudos,
just weird.
kudos to the man that made that decision to invite a woman into into the party, right?
Yep.
That is a wonderful history. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we are learning, we're evolving. There's more call for inclusivity, more a call for diversity, and even equality, and a bit of equity too. But it's slowly happening in quite a few organizations are recognizing. I mean, there's still universities where they're all male,
Hmm.
and they will refuse women cannot join, right? And some women might fight to join, but they're like, you know what, it's only for men. And I mean, at the end of the day, I'm like, where do we there's a gray line, like where do we draw the line? Like, when are we supposed to stay out of the party, right? Should we be in every party, Cecil? Should we be included in every party?
Well, with the introduction of women, they've brought in a lot of new things into the club, a lot of new energies and what have you. And if I may tell you, they are taking over. We have more women in Rotary Club of Dominica right now than we have men. So they're really, really taking over. But
Yes.
that's all for the good of the Rotary Club.
That is fantastic. I love to hear that. And Luan, that is very that kind of just brings me segues to you, the fact that you are a woman and you are a president. I'm interested to know about your journey in Rotary. Like, when were you invited, and were you invited by another woman, or was it a man?
I was actually invited by a male. I was invited by my sponsor, Grayson Stedman Jr. And that was 8 years ago. 8 years ago into the club. But I did not join immediately. I started to attend meetings for about 6 months because I wanted to understand what it took to be a Rotarian, what it meant to be a Rotarian before just diving in. And that gave me a better appreciation to build the relationships with the Rotarians and understand what Rotary is about. I mean, we are guided by our our motto, which is service above self, and that is essentially means being unselfish in a voluntary nature. And you have to embody that for you to understand and commit to being a Rotarian because this is all for free. So throughout my tenure in the club, I acted in different roles. I was the membership chairperson for a year. I was the treasurer for 2 years consecutively, and then the club saw they had confidence in me, and here I am as the president leading the club in its 50th year of existence. So to me, that is my most accomplished experience in Rotary, and it has been fulfilling from professional development all the way to personal development. I always when people ask me, what it is about Rotary, what does Rotary give to me? I always say that Rotary doesn't give to you, you give to Rotary, and you have to find what it is in Rotary that you can benefit of because Rotary won't give you anything. You have to see where you can benefit as being a Rotarian, whether it's in building the relationships, building the networks, connecting with people, developing your own personal and professional development.
Yes, I'm interested to know, if I were a fly on the wall at one of your meetings, what goes on behind the scenes? I'm a fly on the wall.
Oh, there's a lot of camaraderie. I mean, our meetings are exciting. They've become exciting even more this year because we not only sit and most people think we sit and we just talk all the time. We have fellowship meetings where we learn more about each other, but most importantly, we look for opportunities in our community to help, to give service. We would receive requests from different organizations and individuals, but Rotarians themselves also look for opportunities where we can intervene. So if you come to a meeting, you will have a few laughs. You may drink a couple of glasses of wine, but you will learn more about the people in Rotary. You will learn the personalities. You will form bonds and serve your community.
Mm. Someone said to me once, like, if you want to progress quickly in a new community get invited to a Rotary Club
That is
meet.
exactly that is exactly it. And we have a relatively new member. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Olive Strachan.
Yes, yes, I'm
Yes,
familiar.
Olive
I
came to
met I met
Dominica.
Olive when she first landed in Dominica. We were on the same flight, or we were in the same, because she came around COVID, and
Yes,
we had the same COVID accommodation. The place that, well, the it was a certified accommodation. It was my auntie Jennifer. We stayed there together, right? And that was the first time I met her.
Olive joined the club as a
She was
returning.
invited.
She, she was invited to a meeting, and she was looking to build a network. You know, a returning retiree looking for opportunities to expand her business, build a network. And Rotary was the perfect organization for her because it allowed her to tap in to many different professionals who are embedded in different industries in Dominica. So it gives you an opportunity to call on somebody when you need something. You know, that person will look out for you. We are like a family, you know,
Yes,
and that is the beauty, that is the spirit of Rotary. So not only are you benefiting personally and professionally, you are building lifetime bonds. And Rotary extends regionally. I should add, we are not
yeah,
the only club.
I was about to add, because I have a friend who's watching and who is a Rotarian, and she always talks about the trips, and and doing, like, when you guys go to, I believe y'all went to Grenada at some point,
Conferences, yes.
and when you go to conferences, and she's always like gushing about it to me, and I'm always just like rolling my eyes, and she's like, JL, like, but it always sounds like such a great experience. Like, it's a great networking experience, but it's also building really great bonds across borders, not just where you're from. Because who knows, you might decide to move to a different country, and you can literally, like, one of the things she explained to me, she's like, you don't have to be invited again,
Yes,
if
you
you
can
join.
just attend a meeting. As a Rotarian, you find out where they're having their meetings and you can attend the meeting. You know, it's
Yes.
as simple as that. And Cecil can tell you, Cecil has risen to one of the highest ranks in Rotary regionally. You know, he represented all clubs here as the governor. And not only do we have Rotary in Dominica, we have Portsmouth, and we have Rose. So we'll get a little bit more into that because sometimes people confuse the three clubs. They're actually two Rotary clubs and one Rotary club in Dominica.
Okay, now you confuse me. Explain, expand, expound.
Okay, so Rotary Club of Dominica, let's say it's the parent. You know, we were here first 50 years ago. We were established, we've been here. And then we chartered a second club, which which is called the Rotary Club of Portsmouth. And these are made up of members from the northern area of the island. They're
Why was it important to have a second club? Because Dominica have like 20,000 people. Like,
You would be surprised,
You,
JL. I mean, there's so many people to serve. Trinidad
you,
alone
right,
has
Trinidad.
about 12 to
Well,
17 clubs
yeah,
alone.
yeah.
You
wow.
know, and it's so many things to do. There's so many people to serve. It's good that we actually have two clubs in Dominica doing that. We
Wow.
collaborate to make the impact even larger. But you know, we have the Rotary Club of Portsmouth. The president is Mac Morara Joseph.
Yes, I know.
Israel is actually the incoming president next year, so look out for that. And then we have the Rotaract Club of Roseau. The Rotaract Club of Roseau is like the youth arm of the Rotary Club. It's made up of youth between ages 18 to 30. Right now, you can remain a Rotaractor as long as you want, but they're the ones that actually put on the Princess Show, the Carnival Princess Show.
Ah.
The
No, I
president
always
of
thought
that
it
club is
was just
Ian
like, I
Johnson.
just thought that when people said Rotaract, like, it was just a short for Rotary, and they were just trying to have Vari. I was like, these people just have a Jena Apache Vari. But I just figured it was the same organization. So it's good to know that it's still part of the organization, but it's like another arm, another arm of the.
Yes,
That's how you.
yes.
So does Rotary collaborate with Rotary, and in what ways do they collaborate?
Well, we do. I mean, most times we support the Rotary Club, them being the youth, of course, in professional development, in events management, just for the present show. Actually, Rotarians were on the ground supporting the Rotary actors in executing the project. We usually collaborate at events and on different projects that they would be executing as well.
Yeah,
We
we
try
work on
to
projects.
work together.
Yeah.
Go
We
ahead.
work
Go
on
ahead.
projects. Yeah, we work on projects together. We also do fundraisers together, and as they are our junior members, we support them financially if needs be, and things of that nature. But Jill, I would like to just go back to the traveling and so on and so on.
Yeah, because I was about to ask you, like,
Not
before even going to the traveling, I was like, I want to know about the highest honor that you have, and if it includes a red passport, I mean, I want to be in that.
all right. Well, okay. Just a little about me and Rotary. As I said, I joined first in 1992. I stayed there for 6 years, and my work became a little, um, you know, I had to give more attention, hectic, given more attention to that. So I couldn't meet some of the criteria of attending meetings and doing this and doing that. So I was asked to sort of take the leave and come back whenever I want or something of
Really?
the sort. But after that you get so busy in your work and you're more committed to your work, so you lose a little interest and what have you. So a few years
So wait,
elapsed.
wait, wait, wait a while, wait a while. So they ask you to, you were asked to take leave? Is that
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
will
you
ask?
can. Yeah, you can.
No, you ask or they ask you to.
No, they ask me to take a time out.
I love that there's like a strict, like it's almost like a, you have to be able to commit
You
yourself
have to commit
to
yourself.
doing
Yes, yes,
community
yeah.
and
Um, we are a little lax on some of those things now, but at the time when I was there, if you didn't attend 3 meetings, you could be kicked out.
reprimanded.
Yeah, right away. So,
Wow.
yeah, if I could just continue from
Go
where I
ahead, go ahead,
left
go ahead. I
off.
mean, I'm
Uh,
learning, and
yeah,
I'm doing just
so
like the people on my live that don't know, because somebody's saying same, so we know that people are on the
yeah,
same
so
page, right?
I stayed out for a few years, and then the same Rotarian we buried today. One day she said, "You must come back to the club,"
So she
and I said,
re-invited you.
"Yeah." So I said, "Okay, well, let me think about it for a while," and blah blah blah. And then she invited me, and I came back, and I sort of rejoined the club. And since then, um, I'm a member of the club. So the first tranche and the second tranche, it gives me about 20 years in the club.
Wow.
In 2018, I became the president. 2018, 2019, I was the president of the club. And two years later, I became the assistant district governor for Dominica. And then I did 2 terms of that. So two
So
years.
you really came in hard, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm not playing.
And then I served in most of the other areas of the club, like administration, membership, public relations, foundation, etc. The only posts I have not held would be chairman of the youth, the secretary, and also the treasurer. Um, and I had not been a vice president, but right now I'm vice president. So that's another one. But just to run on mm,
The
being in
traveling.
Rotary, being in Rotary, um, also having a busy life at work. When I left the public service and I went on with an international agency, I was responsible for 3 islands in the Caribbean: Dominica, St. Vincent, and Antigua. And I also worked in the other 12 countries the organization worked. So I moved around quite a bit. And every
Wow.
time I went to a country, I would go to a Rotary Club meeting, whether I have to take a break, leave out a meeting for a while, sneak out of a meeting for a while, and go to a Rotary meeting, I would do that. And right now, I can say that I've attended meetings in all the islands from Suriname all the way to Jamaica and the Bahamas and the in between. And even when sometimes I would go to a country and they would have two clubs and they meet on different days, I would go to both meetings. I'll go to the meeting of this club and I'll go to the meeting of the other club. So I've not
Yeah,
been,
maybe second time around they take you, Cecil.
and then going into Miami, into the United States, because my travels took me to the United States quite a bit, going to Hurricane Conference and this conference and that conference. I attended meetings. I was a regular in Didland County,
Wow.
because every year we held our business meeting in a hotel where that club held its meeting. So
Mm.
I would go to their meetings. They would have a breakfast meeting. I'll go to their breakfast meeting and then go to my business meeting. So two clubs. I went to two clubs in Louisiana, one club in Dallas, in the Texas area, and two clubs in, well, one in Orlando, one in Didland. So I've been.
Cecil, Cecil, I'm interested to know though, why is it so important to you to not just be part of the organization, but to attend a meeting? Because you, I mean, you're on business. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure Dominica not going to scold you for not being in a meeting in Dominica if you're out of state,
certainly
right?
not. No.
Why do you feel it's important for you to attend when you go to these other countries?
You meet new people, you make new friends, and you make connections. So you can always call on somebody. When I became president, the projects that I executed is because of friends I made. I have a very good friend who is now a past district governor in Barbados, and he got his club to give me a grant of $28,000 to execute a project in Dominica. And it's because of the relationships. And even right now, I am our club is linking up with a businessman in the Florida area, and I'm very close to him, and I have already asked him about sort of not necessarily a twinning, but to get us into his club. And anytime I go up to the Miami area, Boca Raton, Florida, I will go to their club. And that is where you make connections, and then you can use them to even assist you in getting grants from Rotary International, because Rotary International also gives grants to member clubs, so that they can execute projects. And
And it's good to have somebody vouch for you.
sometimes you need a foreign club, to work with you on the project. So yeah,
Wow. I'm impressed.
it's
I'm
it's
impressed. And I'm
exciting.
not trying to be funny or anything. Like, I really am intrigued, okay? And I know a lot of people probably on here who might even come back after the fact and view this. They will also, like, it's honestly a learning experience for me. Just finding out. I mean, you read things out there, and I've read on the Rotary, and I had a general sense of what it entails. But I always felt like a lot of information was withheld, and for all intention purposes, because it is really about service, and it's not about showing and pumping your gums and gun and showing, oh, I did this and I did that, and it's really not about that. And which is what I'm getting from what you're explaining, that it's a brotherhood, a sisterhood. No sisterhood is involved, organization where everybody helps each other, whether it is professionally or within your own individual communities. So I really want to, commend you guys, on coming on here and speaking with us and sharing with us a little bit about Rotary in general. What would you say are some of major milestones that your organization, specifically Dominica Charter, or any, well, I guess you have two charters, but the Dominica leg of it. What are some of the major milestones you've achieved over the years? Luana, you wanna go?
Yeah.
If I have to start, I can go all the way back, and I'm gonna ask you to visualize certain things that you see around Dominica, and you're gonna place it with Rotary, right? So, did you know that the Rotary Club of Dominica is the institution that built the acute psychiatric unit at the former Princess Margaret Hospital?
And
No.
was also very instrumental in the first blood bank at the Princess Margaret Hospital.
Right?
Mhm.
Did you know that the Rotary Club of Dominica built the Mayo sanitation project, lower down from the public convenience? There's a sanitation project that was done by the Rotary Club of Dominica.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you know that the Rotary Club of Dominica is instrumental in the partnership with Bosch, Michigan, which is the eye care clinic that is actually celebrating its 30th
Yes.
mission
Mhm.
in May? You may be familiar with it. These are the
I
clinics
am.
where they
I
do
Yeah.
am. They
I
came.
they do the eye examinations
yeah.
for
Is
4 days.
Wait a while. No, no, I remember somebody who was part of that mission, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. A Brisbane, Jeffrey specifically.
Jeffrey
Is that
Brisbane, yeah, he was a yeah,
He
he's a
was
past
because
a
president.
he
president.
would reach out to me once when they were coming to Dominica at the time I was on radio, and
Mhm.
he was coming with the mission. And honestly, I did not. I mean, I knew, but I didn't pay in depth attention. So you just figured a mission's coming in, but to know that it's coming in because of the Rotary Club,
Rotary. Mhm.
that is
Yes.
very good to know. That is very
They,
good.
they were also instrumental in his past president, Marvin, was very instrumental in having that program run, to cater to the diabetics on island. We had the food care program that extended. We had a heritage program as well. You also will be familiar with scholarships at the Dominica State College. We have the we have actually free scholarships offering at the Dominica State College. One in memoriam of Reginald Burke, past President Reginald Burke. We recently launched a new scholarship program in auto mechanics, and Rotary has been so instrumental, especially this year. We are celebrating the 10th execution of the secondary school quiz competition. There's a lot to be, excited about, grateful for, in your driving along the Kingfield airports. Have you noticed near the Massac Primary School, the walkway was redone?
Yes,
That was also done by the Rotary Club of Dominica. And our signature project for this year, which we really want people to support us in, we're refurbishing the Bay Oil distilleries at Dalis and Petit Savan. So we're
that is
looking
a
to the
big
future.
project.
That is a major, major project. And that's why we want people to come to Southern Punch, because that's where your money
Oh
goes.
my God!
You
You know,
know,
this is something that is so necessary because I've been talking about, like we need more manufacturing. We need, I mean, a lot of our factories, the small factories are not, some of them are not no longer operational, or they've had difficulties. We had Bellow factory, we had um Benjashu, we had all of these different factories, that we no longer see around. But it's wonderful to know that. First of all, why did you guys decide that this was where you were going to put your money in?
well,
Like,
this project has been long coming. There have been many presidents before me who started the conversations of bringing back economic activity to this side of the island. And we know that the distilleries were destroyed after Hurricane Maria and Tropical Storm Erica,
Mhm.
and it changed the livelihoods of the residents out there. So we saw an opportunity to partner with the Dominica Essential Oils and Spices Cooperative, and Rotary intervened. We recently completed our proposal, our grant proposal, to send us into the district again for support from Rotary International, and we're asking and we're looking for corporate partners to come on board, because this doesn't have to be a Rotary thing alone. This is a Dominica thing, because we're giving back to Dominicans and we're looking for the opportunities. And you'll be surprised to know, when I became president, we started talking about that project again. I attended the meeting at the office, at the essential oils office, and I'm looking at the wall, and there's a man in the picture, and I'm like, "But that man looking familiar." Come to find out, that's actually my grandfather, who was a founder of the cooperative. So like life is just full circle, and you are placed in the right places at the right time to serve and to bring the support that is needed, and Rotary will intervene and bring back those distilleries.
I love, love, love it. My sister is on the live and she's like, "We coming." I mean, Luana. We buy our tickets very, very early. I've always South and Punch is the only event I've been to on a Sunday of Carnival ever since I've known myself. I remember every single outfit I've worn to South and Punch. I remember when it was at Layu,
Mhm.
um
Yeah.
Rhythms on the River around. It was somewhere else before. It used to be, I believe,
In
um
the like hotel area.
yes, and then it moved, and then it's now at another location, and we've been to every single one, and I always felt driven to go. I don't know why. There's other events happening on that day, but I always felt like I need to go because I felt, oh, I'm putting my money into something that's going back into my country, into my community, and that is exactly why I've done it. And we've done it every single year. And my sister, my cousins, all of us, we come. We buy our tickets early o'clock from the time the tickets were dropped. We bought our tickets, okay? So that we don't ask for freebies. Jael don't ask for no freebies, nothing. We buy our tickets and we come and we attend. And I always have such a yeah. Last year I didn't want to leave. Last year I had thing for illumination. I went to illumination when Ju Uvewi. I
Mhm.
didn't illuminate because I left Southern Point so late. It's always such a blast every single year. So I love what you guys are doing, and even just hearing this story. And I think a lot of times we hear about organizations, but we don't know the full story, and we tend to judge from the outside, or we tend to just say, not for me, why not getting involved, and I was one of those. I'm like, not for me.
I was one of those, Jill.
All I'm like, it's giving cult vibes. I don't want nobody to tell me what to do, like, listen, I have definitely been one of those, and I tell you, I'm friends with a lot of Rotarians who some of whom have invited me, and probably they will never invite me again because of what I've said to them, right? They're like, "Jill, come. You love community stuff. Why don't you come?" I was like, "My girl, that's only too much like as if all you're going to have me by my balls." And I'm not about that life, right? But it really sounds so much of like a rewarding organization, not just an organization for you to give back, but also to pour into yourself, because you can only be for your community. If you're how are you gonna be your full self, for your show up fully for your community, if you're empty, right? So it's like the club pours into you through the members, and then you're able to now pour into your communities. So yeah, my brain is going like 1,000 miles an hour because I'm thinking of so many different things now. But that is fantastic. Continue, Luan.
Well, of course, based on all the initiatives that I've shared with you, they are funded by, as you mentioned, Sauce and Punch. So
Sure.
Sauce and Punch is our annual fundraiser, and we really look forward to hosting it to give patrons the experience so that they can come back and give to the community. And like you said, Sauce and Punch has been all over the place looking for a location because the event continues to grow. Like every venue that we've selected, it's maxed out. After 40 years of putting on that type of event, and it's being done by volunteers, with the support of different community members, you have to understand the magnitude of a type of event like that. And it's for giving back. We are The Rotarians are on the ground the entire time. The planning, the execution is strictly Rotarians forming a team to make sure that you'll have the best experience. And I listened to your review last year. You know, I had a pen and paper this year. And I go back to Jael review and I start to check out everything that Jael is like, she didn't like and what she liked. And I'm like, okay, I come in for you.
Let me tell you, listen. So, I mean, my reviews are very honest. I try my best to be very, very honest. And some people don't, some people are terrified of me.
Mm.
Like some people are terrified. I don't even know why. Like I was told that someone there was a meeting because there's always a jail fan in every meeting. There's always a jail. But I was told that there was a meeting that was held and someone said that like they feel like my reviews are like I'm bullying people. And I'm like I'm not bullying anybody. I'm just telling you as somebody who loves to go out and have a good time what I like and what I don't like. But even when I say what I don't like, I like to give you advice or ideas or suggestions on how to make. Because let me tell you, you don't have a country I've not been to and I didn't go to a party, right? Or a fete.
But yeah, we have tequila for you this year. I make sure. Because
Glenda just said that in the chat. Make sure y'all got tequila for church.
so yes, we are putting it on a Zaman Park this year. And not only are we hosting the event here, the Rotary Club of Dominica has signed an MOU with the Maho Village Council to rehabilitate the park. So if you're passing along Maho right now, you will see that there's fencing happening around the grounds. We've added an additional gate. We've put up some solar lights, and we're hoping to beautify the park so that the residents can use the park to recreate, but also the council can use there to earn additional funds. They can rent it to other promoters for events. So we're not only coming here to execute the event, we
I
are
love
helping
that.
to
I love
develop the communities
I really love that.
we engage with. And
I
this
really love that. Oh my god, I feel so bad now about my review.
no
No,
no no
you making me feel guilty. No, I don't feel guilty. I don't feel guilty. I don't. I said what I said.
there's good reason and it was noted.
But thank you for considering me on the tequila. I mean, it's supposed to be an inclusive event, so I feel like everybody should be able to get, you know,
Yes,
whatever.
well, actually, you pay 140 right now. The tickets are 140, and they're very limited. There will be no gate sales, so get your ticket now at 140. You can get at Bullseye Pharmacy, Network Trading,
Are they available online?
and on
Because
Ticket Pal. Yes, they are.
someone I sent someone the link and they were like they said that they thought it was sold out. So just double check, make sure your link online is
It was
not
down this afternoon. It was down this
okay.
afternoon. So
All right, because they're like, oh, it doesn't
yeah.
seem like it's working. It might be sold out. I'm like, well,
So
I'm
yes,
sorry. I got my ticket a long time ago. I think we got our tickets in back in December when the day it launched. We probably got our ticket the day after.
nice. That's great. So as you know, we have a very, very, very big lineup, both local artists and regional artists.
You go
DJ
bringing on regional artists?
DJs.
Okay.
Hopefully next year we'll consider that. One of the challenges, because Dominica's Carnival is the same time as Trinidad's Carnival, it's always a challenge to get an artist to come to Dominica. When we get the international airport, that'll be much easier. They can fly in and fly out one time,
Well,
so we
let me
looking
give you
forward
guys
to
let
it.
me give you guys a suggestion. A suggestion, eh? The islands that you want artists from, all they have to do is tell the Rotarians to invite those artists to the club. That way they're in the club.
They don't have a choice. They
They
have a
don't have a choice, right? They have to make their way to serve their club. I just giving you an idea, a suggestion. All right,
choice.
I'll send you a bill. But tell us about the DJs and who you guys are bringing in.
So this year in particular, because we're celebrating 50 years of service and over 40 years of Southern Punch. We're celebrating under the theme Caribbean Rhythmic Fusion. And as you know, this season, our music has taken the Caribbean and the world by storm. So it makes sense that we have award-winning artists on our lineup. Our headliner is Asa Banton. And now, you know, Trilogy has been making waves across the region. He will also be on the lineup as well. And we cannot forget the Bouillon Army. Colin is coming with the Bouillon Army for Southern Punch. We also have the MFR band. You know, these guys are coming from Portsmouth. They're coming to put on a show for us alongside a number of DJs. We have Spawner, we have Snow, we have Afi, Unstoppable DJ, Selector Urban, DJ Flip the Boss. And from the region, for the first time in Dominica, we have the Legacy team. That's a duo out of Barbados. And we also have DJ Payu from Martinique and DJ Spaniard, the Spaniard from Antigua. So just imagine, we have something for everybody. We even have pan music because it's Caribbean rhythmic fusion. So you have to come to Southern Punch 4 o'clock next week Sunday, Carnival Sunday. After you come out by Opulence, because there's Opulence before you go home, you bathe, change, and out again, and you get
Well,
back to
my Southern Punch outfit was the first outfit that was bought. Right? That was the first because I was like, I'm losing weight and I want to make sure I look great in my whites, in my whitey whites, right? And I put a little bit of silver with it. And let me tell you, Luana, that is the only event I went all out. Not even Queen Show. I gone all out for because I have gone to Southern Punch every single time I've been in Dominica, and Southern Punch has been happening. Right? I have been to Southern Punch. I've always enjoyed it. I have never been disappointed. It's always such a blast. It's always a great event. It's a mixed crowd, so you don't just get young people. You see older people. You see people your age. You see, it's always a really nice crowd, and it's so still so family friendly, even
it
though
is.
people are having a
It
blast. Like it
is.
is the only event that if I had to bring my kid, like I would
It
not feel no
is. I
way.
mean, it has evolved, but it's still a family event. It has evolved, but it's still a family event. Your kids are welcome. Kids under 12, they pay $50, so you can still bring your kids.
Yes, yes. That is wonderful. Cecil, tell me a little bit about, because you would probably have an in-depth knowledge on, past Southern Punch events, and some of your most memorable Southern Punch um, parties. Tell me a little bit about
Well,
those. Like, give me a
well,
little.
well, I'm not too much in the partying business. I work very hard. I get to there early and I work for the whole day until everything is over. But yeah, Southern Punch has really, really evolved. And I recall the 2 years before I became president, we lost money on Southern Punch, the two previous Southern Punch events. One was held in Lale Coco, and I don't think the venue was a very good venue, and we lost monies there. But although I'm not too much in the party business and all, when I became president, I sort of assigned two people I had a lot of confidence in to Southern Punch, and they were Tammy Karam and Luana Laura, right? And we made money that year, and that was the
Hey,
last.
we finance focus. Yes, you will make money. Get
We,
out of here.
we,
Of course, you will make money.
that
And
was that was the last time we held the event in Layu, and then
Mm,
we moved to other events. Layu was small, so you wouldn't make as much as. But again, it has grown and so on. And as we say, that is what that goes into financing all our projects, other than those we get from other donors and what have you. Yeah, it's although I'm not, as I say, deeply involved, but I make myself available for those activities. Doesn't matter
fantastic.
what.
Yes, yeah, and Cecil mentioned, Tammy and I, but for the past years, the committee has come together with the influence of so many different Rotarians. We have Genevieve, past President Genevieve, who also contributed to the growth of the event as well.
Yeah.
So it's a collaborative event. There's so many minds, there's so many ideas coming together to
All
put
hands on deck
on
right
that
now. Yeah.
event, that it is just phenomenal. And we listen to the feedback, we get the reviews, and though we won't consider ourselves a promoter because
Mhm.
we're volunteers, we have to keep up with the trend.
Mhm.
So we have added table packages so you can get your bottle service at the event as
We got
well.
that. We have that. We
We've
on top of the
added
list.
we've added photo booths, and this year you have to come. Jael, you have to come. The backdrop, oh my God. The trinkets, oh my God. Just look out for it. We're celebrating 50 years.
I want to ask. I want to ask. And I know we are coming closer to the end, but I need to know this about the theme. What is the significance of the white theme? Like, where did that come about?
We can take you back to 40 years. I think that
When
that
it started, yeah.
that whole that
All right.
whole
Hmm.
experience, white is just so impactful that we had to make sure that we made that impact. And you can imagine an all-white party if it has transformed into an all-white party. That is why we want to call it the Rotary Original Sauce and Punch. Because when you hear sauce and punch all over the place, remember it's the original sauce and punch done by the Rotary. Everybody else.
You get in the real sauce, the pig
And
nose.
there's actually complimentary sauce on arrival, and for those who don't eat pig feet, there's complimentary fish
Dishwater.
water. You get local punches. This year we have added Mr. King's punch. We have Tony who's always with us. We've added Mr. King's. We actually have a dessert station this year, and you can get your coffee for you today, Sule, after. Jill, you have bring your friends, bring your family,
We come
and
in. I tell you, we have a gang already. So the people on the live need to come and bring their friends,
but
right? Those of you.
I don't want us to leave yet because there's some names that I want to call that have been instrumental in the support for Sauce and Punch. This year, Sauce and Punch is being headlined by Flo. That's our platinum sponsor year after year after year. Flo has stuck with Rotary and Sauce and Punch, so we're grateful to Flo. We have Archipelago Trading coming in as a gold sponsor this year. We have silver sponsors from Whitchurch, Johnny Walker, Caribbean, Smirnoff Vodka, and Domlek. We have bronze sponsors like Fine Goods Inc., Belfast Estate, Luxurious Loose, RER Limited, and Instant Trucking. And we have a list of copper sponsors: Vibes Radio, DBS Radio, Josephine Gabriel, King Ocean, Argos Dominica, Mr. King Sponge, Tony Sponge, Pirates Limited, Jeffrey's Fresh Farm, Sunrise Airways has come on board, and ICWI Limited, D Treads, Tires, Carry FM, Q95, We Forward, and Petrocarry. And we have some long-standing partners. Sheila from Essential Designs. Her logistics team is always on point. We have Media Links and Crown Images, and we cannot do anything without Adam. Adam must be involved. So we want to say a great thank you, a big thank you to all these corporate sponsors who continue to partner with the Rotary Club of Dominica.
Wonderful. This sounds really amazing. We're looking forward. I have a question though. So I wanna get to the questions because we have to engage our chat. We cannot just not leave them all quiet and don't engage with them. We have a few questions. I believe we have one or two questions and a few comments coming in from a few folks. So one of the comments comes from Glenda, who's been actively talking about the Rotary Club. She said she's met Brenton Hillier and in person, and she's hoping that she can meet Grayson Stedman in person. I guess she's a fellow Rotarian like yourselves. My sister, you see, my sister say we come in South and Punch. As a Rotary travail. Um, I tell you, we bought our ticket a long time. I wasn't talking nonsense. Shem is saying that the best club on island thus far. That's what Shem is saying. Glenda has a question for you, Cecil. She's
Mhm.
saying he mentioned that he held the position of president, but usually you have to hold the position of secretary before becoming a president. How did you? I guess she's asking if you skip being a secretary and you went. I think. Did you say you were not a secretary, or did you say you were not a treasurer?
No, I was never secretary or treasurer,
So
but
how did you skip? How did you?
well, I was elected and voted in as president. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And I hope that answers your question. Um, Shem is asking, but that is festival man boy. Look sponsors, Kisa. Shem, go home. But this is wonderful. I mean, this sounds like it's definitely going to be an exciting time. I don't want to leave without asking because, obviously there are challenges within every organization, and hopefully, with you speaking a little to the challenges, we can reach out to people who can probably help solve these problems. And what would you say are some of probably the biggest challenges that you guys face today, and how do you plan to address them, or what are you doing as President Luana? How you plan on addressing some of these challenges?
Okay, so one of the challenges, and it's not unique to Rotary Club of Dominica, but regionally, we see that the demographic of the club has changed. Before there are a lot of senior members, and you have the young professionals coming in right now. So you have to ensure that the activities that we put on, the projects that we put on, are inclusive because we still want our senior members to participate. We still want them around. So we try to make it in such a way that any activity that we have, our senior members are able to attend. If they cannot come, we go for them, we bring them, or we go at their home and we have the activity just to ensure that it remains inclusive, and that is regionally. Another thing is the funds that we're raising from the public, we cannot use it for our administrative expenses. And that is something that I want people to understand. We raise funds and we cannot use it for our dinners, we cannot use it for our parties. That
I
is,
like that. I like that you're bringing this up because they will say, the wine that they just drink there, that is what she talking about. They're doing sauce and punch for them to come and sit down by 40 and drink wine on our head.
we cannot touch that for any of our club admin expenses. So you find the club is funded by the contributions of the Rotarians themselves. And, I won't say volunteerism has a limit, but we have to also appreciate members' financial position and background. So we have to be, considerate towards that. The dues that we pay are what funds our internal operations as well. So we're trying to find a balance where, we still are able to enjoy ourselves and fellowship, all while putting on service, giving service to our communities.
I'm sure Finance Focus will find us a way. um, I wanna give you guys both, an opportunity to answer this. Looking ahead, where do you see the Rotary Club of Dominica in the next 5, probably even 10 years?
Justin, would you like to go first? Because he's an incoming president.
I'll be president again in 2 years' time, and I have already started writing up some of the things I would like to see during those, well, in the next 2 years. But
How do
the
you know that you're going to be president in the next 2 years? How do you know that?
we vote for presidents before, long before. So we have already held our election for the president for 26, 27, which is good. No, hold on, 25, 26. Is this person 26, 27? Yeah, 26, 27. I'll be president. And we have already voted for that. And then later we will vote for the other members who will join that person. But we have our president elect for next Rotary year. And then I am president elect for the next
Who's the
year.
president elect?
So our president-elect is Dr. Jermaine Jean-Pierre.
Pierre is going to be. the
office in
next
Mike,
president.
and
Yeah,
that follows Cecil. But it gives the president an opportunity to serve on the board while they're quote unquote training, and it helps in the succession planning and handover and transition period. They work closely with the current president, so it helps the transition even better. Where I see the club in the future, more projects. We
yeah,
This year we
certainly.
tried our best. We came out. You see, we're on Jael Live because we want people to know what we do. So we are looking for the support from the communities, from the corporate partners. They understand what we do. They're seeing where the money is going. So we're hoping that we get more partnerships as the years come along.
And
One
as
of
we move forward, we're looking for quality members, and if people, feel they can work within that kind of
And commit,
environment, that's why I'm saying within that environment, because there's a lot of commitment. I mean, even today I said, my God, I'm giving all my time to Rotary now. I'm a little freer now
you
because I'm
retired, Cecil, you're allowed. It's
well, I
you don't
was
have a choice.
I was semi-retired, but I
It's
was
either you
I,
on cruise ships or you working for Rotary. That's
yeah,
it.
you see, I'm running all over all over the place. But yeah, it's a lot of commitment, and I think this year we did a lot. If I may say that myself, we did quite a bit, and that really kept us,
Cecil,
going.
I
So
have a
we,
question
we
for
we
you,
have to
Cecil.
go same speed as we move on.
I
Yes.
have a question for you because one of the things that Luana mentioned is the fact that there are a lot of younger members coming, like a younger demographic, a younger professionals joining the or being invited to the Rotary. As somebody who is one of the older members, like you said at the start,
Mhm,
you called yourself older.
mhm.
Um, how are you going to keep up with that in 2 years? Like I'm into because you said you're already writing. I'm interested to
Yeah,
know
yeah. Well,
how do you plan to keep up? Because I mean, for crying out loud, there's Gen Zs and all of them. They're using some kind of slangs these days. I am over 40 and I don't even understand in all of them. Right? How are you plan to keep up in 2 years with the new changes that are happening in terms of who's coming in and who's leaving?
I have no problem with change. Um, I work a lot with young people. Some people have the notion that if you're at a certain level, age-wise, that you don't mess around with the younger people. I work very well with young people, so I don't have a problem there. I think my only challenge moving forward is all this computerization and what have you. I just hate. I start hating all
Technology.
technology, all this technology. But I keep up quite a bit with it, because I was wondering how I'm going to get onto your show tonight, and as soon as I went through the through the things, I was able to get on
It's
very
easy,
easily.
easy.
So I
It's
still have a
easy.
good head on my shoulder. But
Right.
yeah, there are a few of us who are older in the club, and I think we can provide some guidance to the younger members in terms
definitely.
of the rules and things of that nature. And yeah, I think the club is moving. It's moving at a fast rate, and we have to just keep up with what needs to be done.
Fantastic. I want to give you guys a final opportunity to for your final words, and we're gonna make sure that we because we know today's Bouillon Day, and a lot of people are Bouillon in. So we're gonna make sure that we share your video a few times this week so that folks who missed out can catch on. So I've instructed my assistant to make sure that this video continues. We share it in groups, so that people can see and get to know because I didn't know half of the stuff and I'm completely intrigued. I'm interested now. No offense to the people who are my life, who are my friends, who are Rotarians who couldn't convince me, but I'm sold. I'm sold. And I'm sold in not in a way like I'm sold like I it aligns with a lot of things that I believe in. So I like that. And I just want to give you guys the opportunity to have your final words. And we'll start with Cecil since you're vice president, and then Luana.
Yeah, well, we just want to call on the general public to continue working with us. We do a lot of good work. There are a lot of things we didn't mention tonight, like we feed the people at the Grotto home once a year. Creole, we give them their Creole meal. We have a Christmas session with the people in the infirmary where we provide breakfast to them and gifts on Christmas Day. Can you imagine? You leave your home at 6 o'clock in the morning, leave your family, and you're going down to the infirmary to bring cheer to so, and this has been something we've been doing for quite a while, and our members love it and will continue doing it. So um lots of challenges ahead, yeah, because things that a lot of things changing in the world over, not only in Dominica, and we just have to keep up with what we're doing. And there are quite a few things on the calendar for the next few years, and I'm sure we'll be able to execute.
Thank you very much, Cecil. Luana?
So I just want to say thank you, Jael, for giving us the opportunity to share more about the Rotary Club of Dominica in Dominica. And I want to send a special greeting to all our Rotarians. We have 41 members, both in Dominica and external. I want to say a good night to them, especially those who are ill. I want to send condolences to the families of our deceased members as well. And the public not only knows us for volunteerism, but I want them to know that we are a family who also give to ourselves within the club. So we look out for one another and we also look out for the community. So I request continued support from our patrons at our events. We have the upcoming Bosch Mission in May. We're asking individuals from Laplin, Sally Bear, Marigot, and Cassie Bruce to get screened so that they can attend the clinic as well. We'll also have a health fair prior to the Bosch Clinic in April in Sally Bear. We're hoping to partner with other organizations to execute that, and we're asking for the support.
When you guys are ready for your for that event, or when, just let me know, and you can come on here absolutely on me. Okay?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, GL. Thanks for having us tonight too. Yeah.
You're most welcome, and it was a pleasure speaking with the two of you. And I wish you guys all of the success on your event this coming Sunday, because we know it's for a fantastic cause, and we cannot wait for us to have that new Bailey factory. Well, a brand new
Bay Oil, yes. Bay Oil Distillery.
oil, oil distillery. All right. Thanks again, guys.
Okay. Welcome. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.
And that was it, guys. That was it for the Rotary Club of Dominica. It's an amazing club. I didn't know all that was going on in Rotary. Like, let me tell you, I properly tell you, like, these people open up my eyes to so many things I did not know about. And that's why sometimes you just have to just hush your mouth, and just get information. Sometimes we're so quick to speak about things and we don't even know about it. But it's so wonderful to have had them both come on the show and share with you guys about their wonderful event that they're having this coming Sunday, the South Sun Punch, which is to raise funds. And I love what they mentioned, that, because, some of us Dominicans will on the side saying, yes, or they having all this South Sun Punch for 200 wine and people head. Not true. They cannot even use the funds that they've raised towards their own administrative expenses. So I absolutely I'm sold. I don't know about you, but I'm sold. Right? I absolutely love what they stand for, what they represent, and I really truly appreciate all of the hard work that they've put in to serving the community, to serving Dominicans, to serving the people, and to making sure that we all have better lives, whether it is directly or indirectly. They're definitely changing and impacting our communities around them. And of course, I will invite them on. I tell them that they have a home here whenever Luan. I know, you see, Luana, one thing I know, if she's going to exercise this to the full extent. That invitation I open there by next week, so I get in a request. I know she'll take advantage of it, and we look forward to having the Rotary Club of Dominica again on the show in the near future. I'm dipping out for now, and then when I come back, I'll be coming back with a brand new show at 7:30 with the Miss Dominica 2024. She is going to be amazing. I'm excited to speak with her. So stay tuned for that. Go follow on YouTube. Go on the YouTube page right about now. And I will see you in a bit. All right. Bye for now.